If you are having stars, you might have to be a little bit more worried because we didn't get our modules.
Advice to NTU students. My name is Sumin, and I'm a year 4 sociology student, and I intern in India in jump ship.
Hello, I'm Sabrina. I'm currently in my second year of business school, and I'm specializing in international trading. And during my internship for my summer attachment, I went to Uganda, which is in East Africa, where I did palm oil operations.
I think naturally, I was like really quite. I was thinking about it a lot lah, like India of all places. But of course, like I was also looking for an opportunity for me that could bring me out of my comfort zone. So I wasn't as deterred from it. So I decided to look up as on like program sheet and find out what opportunities were being offered. And I came across Tata Steel's projects, and I decided, and I felt like their commitment towards like corporate social responsibility initiatives like really aligned with my own interests and passion. So I decided I was really eager to learn from them. So I decided to go for it. Yeah.
So when I first came across this opportunity, my first thought that came in mind was, wow, I will finally be able to go on a trip to Africa. Seeing that the opportunity came through from NTU itself, I think it was actually a little bit more reassuring for myself. So I decided to register my interest. And after that, I actually went to speak to my career coach as well from CAO to understand a little bit more whether it would align with like my expectations, and whether he would recommend me on this internship as well. So that was kind of like how I thought about it, and then I went through with asking more questions like my concerns that I may have while I'm in Uganda, like who's gonna like take care of me, how's like the food gonna be like. I actually left all those questions during my interview sessions with the company itself. So I think after all, it was quite reassuring, and that's how I went with it after.
I think naturally, because India was, it's not necessarily a conventional like destination for a lot of people, and especially for a female lah. So they were of course very apprehensive lah. Like really India of all places. But I think because the program like had institutional like backing, it was with MTI, SG Enterprise, and the India CII, and because of all these like backing and even NTU's backing, they felt pretty assured that I wasn't just going there, out of like without any support. And also like I consulted my Indian neighbor, and she was really supportive about it. Like when I asked her, how was, do you know this city, Jamshedpur? And then she was like, it's super safe and all these different things. So I think all these like anecdotes really helped to reassure my parents that I wasn't just going to like the middle of nowhere or anything. Yeah.
When they heard Africa, honestly, it took them aback, and they were just like, "Why would you want to go to Africa? Are there like no other jobs elsewhere? Like a typical Asian parent." So actually, with my dad, it was easier because my dad, or actually, he's the one that always told me to have an open mind. He was the one that always encouraged me to travel and go out, to see the world, But with my mom, it was a bit different. I had to actually reassure her that actually my company, Wilmar International, is actually a Singapore-based company, and I had to, tell her like they were doing, edible oils. You can be a little bit more reassured. If there's anything, you can always go back to NTU to talk to, perhaps my mentor, or you could, go to Wilmar International, which is based in Singapore. I even told her like that address, so she felt a little bit more reassured regarding that. And of course, even up to the date, she was still very concerned, but I just addressed like whatever she had on the way.
For me, my most memorable like part of the internship was being invited for my supervisor's son's birthday party. So I think I really like that party because like it really summed up like the warmth and hospitality that I received from everyone in India like during my stay there. And I'm someone who's naturally very introverted. So when I first went for the party, I was like, I'm just gonna take a chill pill and then like stay in the background. But then like before long, like the relatives all put me up into the dance floor to dance like some upbeat Punjabi music lah. So it was like I felt super welcomed lah. In like I was part of the community there.
So for myself, my most memorable experience was actually waking up to a very beautiful view of palm trees. Then every day for about like 8 weeks, I actually worked in the oil palm plantations. So every day I was in like the plantation. So you could imagine you're just like walking amongst like trees, and it's just really beautiful, and you're really very much connected to nature. So I think something really very memorable was the interactions every day with being connected with nature, and then having our very hands-on work as well while in the plantation. So that was actually really beautiful.
I think for me, because I was in the city all alone by myself, there weren't like any other Singaporeans with me. So naturally, like it was quite a daunting experience lah, being there all alone, not speaking the same language as everyone. So I felt a bit like an alien. So I think during the first 2 weeks of my stay there, I just like cooped up in my guest house because I was like I didn't dare to like go out because I didn't dare to reach out to people also. But over time, I was thinking like since I'm already here, and I can't just stay like this forever lah. So I decided to bring myself out to like the nearby mall just to experience what it's like to roam around the city alone. And I also met like a group of interns there, and I met like some new friends who brought me around the city as well. So like all these interactions like helped me gain confidence to reach out to like my colleagues, and eventually I got to learn a bit of Hindi, got to learn a bit of like Indian Sign Language also to speak, and it really like helped me converse with like my colleagues and superiors there, and also like even the students with hearing disabilities.
So for the first week, I actually fell sick, and all my symptoms actually matched up with malaria. I would say that it was one of like the scarier moments because I reassured my family and friends that I will be safe, and I'll come back in one piece and everything. But then in the first week alone, I fell sick. I didn't even dare to tell my family and friends because I didn't want them to worry for me. I actually told my manager there, and they were very calm about it and composed about it, which I really appreciated. They just sent the driver to bring me to the clinic at the plantation. So I did a blood test at the clinic, and thank God like it turned out negative. And then while I was waiting for my medicine, I actually saw that they were very well equipped and well stocked, and the clinic was really very clean, and it was just very reassuring, honestly, at that point in time when I was quite sick. So I just went back and took some of the medication, and I actually recovered pretty fast. By that week, I returned to work as well.
I think for me, before my trip, right, I prepared a lot of things, like research a lot about like the project stuff and all these different things, what I needed to bring, medications and all these different things. But one thing I forgot was my Maggie meals. Because initially I was like, my aunt was like, are you sure you don't want to bring Maggie mee there? And I was like, I think I'll be okay lah, because I like Indian food anyway. So I was like, I don't think I'll be that homesick. So but 2 weeks in, I was like scouring the internet for like all the familiar brands that I was interested in and that I was used to having in Singapore, but I couldn't find any. And I was like, jialat man, this is how it goes. Then but lucky enough, my aunt, she was a very nice person. Like she shipped an entire carton of Maggie mee to India for me, and I remember like tasting like the first sip of the ramen. I was like, oh, it really feels like home. But I think overall, like food wise, it was okay. But it's just that every now and then you just miss home a bit lah.
One thing that I wish that I had known prior will be a little bit different. Was that I shouldn't have packed so much. So I think for my company, we had our chef that he's actually really good and skillful at cooking Asian dishes. So I actually brought like half of my luggage were like full of food items, and then half of it were like all my clothing. So one thing that I had wished to have known, right, was actually to perhaps reach out to my colleagues who are already in Uganda, and then perhaps I have a chat with them, because when they heard that we brought so much food, right, in our luggage, they actually laughed a bit. And then they were like, oh, actually we have this here too. So you could imagine like bak kut teh sachets, right? We brought a few. So we wanted to, actually teach them how to cook. But turns out our chef already knew how to cook bak kut teh. And by the way, it's much better because they use fresh ingredients. And it's all like organic. It's like, So for just that very little example, all these things that we realized that actually in Uganda, they already had all these things. But of course, for everyone embarking on their overseas internship, it will be slightly different. I think it will be best that you speak with someone from your company. At least find someone who is working at where you will be at. Put in that effort, and then actually ask them how it really is like, because it could be like a hearsay kind of thing, and you don't really get an accurate answer. Of course, it is not entirely true, I would say, at least for my experience. As you can see, I'm in one piece here. Perfectly fine. But I would say it's actually mainly, thanks to the company that I was with as well. So Wilma International actually took care of us really well. And I think how you can know to, actually debunk, I would say this is kind of like a myth or not, whether if Uganda is true or like wherever you're going, whether it's truly safe or like unsafe. Honestly, it's really dependent on yourself. Just have like some basic knowledge of like how you should take care of yourself, and then like when you're like there, you could also keep an open mind, like to think about like how you even came across this internship. So for myself, it was with NTU to begin with. So I'm very sure that the school have already helped to sift through like some procedures and to ensure that there is a legitimate program there, like the company is legitimate as well. So I think that is one way to actually be able to reassure yourself before you could reassure anyone else also.
So for me, I always thought about when I look at an opportunity, I look at the value that it brings to me and what I can contribute to the project as well lah. Even though like the country and the city was not necessarily something that really was a top consideration for me, I think it's natural lah that people would be very apprehensive towards it lah. As mentioned before, when my career coach told me, "Hey, go India," and I was like, India of all places. And I think my parents and friends, they were also like, of all places, why you want to choose India? But I think after consulting a lot of like my Indian neighbors and also people who have been there, it's actually not as scary as people make it out to be. I think naturally, when people see like a lot of like dangerous news online, there's a lot of fear mongering that can happen. So naturally, you'll be a bit scared, but it's okay. Like what Sabrina mentioned, find out from the locals, find out from people who have been there, and then you will get a more balanced perspective actually. And even after coming back from the trip, it's really not as dangerous as people make it out to be. At the end of the day, you should also do your own due diligence lah. As with any country that you travel to, be aware of your own safety and all these different things. But other than that, like, don't let your fear affect your entire experience. And if you know the value that this opportunity brings to you, then just go there and experience it. Be open, be adventurous, and trust the process.
What is CAO's IG handle?
NTU CAO.
CAO _SG or something.
CAO _NTU.
It's getting awkward here.
Okay, CAO NTU SG.
Yay!